One of my dream as a pool player is not just to become the best player that I can possibly be in my time and space on the table, but it's to create a lasting impact and influence persons that are around me. And the young man who you're about to see that is playing a match with me here is one that I have been watching for the better half of 5, 6 or 7 years. I want to talk a little bit about him as we go throughout the match, but a quick little synopsis on what's about to happen here. I had a matchup with him and I had to spot him 3 games. So the race is to 7 and I have to spot him 3 games. And even though the scoreline is not a true reflection of his performance, nor is it a reflection of my performance, I think you're going to enjoy just the overall switch of momentum throughout this match. So go ahead guys and hit that subscribe button below. Let's dive into the analysis of each rack, each shot, and the entire match here. Starting off with the break here, we're playing 8 ball, race to 7. I must spot him 3 games. So he's already at 3 and I am at 0. Alright, starting off there with rather interesting break. Let's take a look at the break shot here. One of the things that I struggle with a lot, and in this analysis, in this commentary guys, I'm gonna be totally honest with you with not just my strengths but my weaknesses as well, and I'm gonna try to keep everything on a positive note, right? And to kickstart it off here, not the ideal way, but I start off with a rather interesting break. No balls were potted on the break. Again, quite disappointing. I have been struggling in this department and I definitely haven't been practicing. I've literally never ever practiced the break, but since he's at the table, let's focus on what Leron is doing here. Yes, his name is Leron. We call him, well, I call him the Goose, right? I call him the Goose. His name is Leron Harris, right? Young amateur player, loves the game, enjoys playing all formats. His favorite, I think, is going to be 8 ball, but let's have a look here. He starts out by picking the group of balls, which is the stripes. He plays and he comes down table. Now this is an interesting rack because there's a couple of problems and it's going to be interesting to see how he approaches each shot. And one thing I liked and I've been observing about him is his pre-shot routine. It's something that he focuses a lot and as well. Now it's something that you will also recognize throughout the match as the pressure shifts, the momentum shifts. He will occasionally not go through with the pre-shot routine because of pressure, but notice that he has rather very good fundamentals. He has pretty good cue ball control as well. And we have been talking guys about the mental part of the game. You know, I've been having long elaborated discussions with him because that's one of the areas he struggles with. You know, as you see him walking around the table, you know, calm. This is something that I've always wanted for him, you know, allowing him that regardless of whoever you're playing, no matter their skill set, once you get your chance at the table, you've got to make use of it. He has a very good form around the table as well. His temperament around the table is really nice as well, you know. He's very calculated as well, you know. Maybe not the mathematical part, but he's rather calculated. Now, here's an interesting shot that he played. Lovely. What a beautiful shot there. He already knew that the 9 ball was a problem. Notice how he just rolled into position to play a carom shot off the, what was that, the 2 ball, I think. Really nice. So, it's not a Cosmo rack. Obviously, as you can see, it's not a Cosmo rack. It's a rack that requires not just ball potting ability, but it also requires cue ball control and pattern play as well. Now, what I want you guys to take a moment, if you don't happen to watch the entire video, is just watch his temperament around the table. This is something that he has struggled with for years. He gets angry easily. He gets frustrated easily. You're gonna see how lovely it is. Just so very, you know, it's easy on the eye to watch him play. and this is something that I'm happy for him for. Even though he made a lot of mistakes in this match, for example here, where he had a really nice position to play for the 8, and you can see there is a little bit of emotions being shown there, but usually whenever he does that, it usually looks a lot worse than what you saw there. And he walked away from the table, he had a seat, and it was like, he was a little bit in disbelief to say that, hey, it was just really an easy shot to play position. And we had a conversation after the match. I believe it was yesterday, which is November the 3rd. We had a conversation, and we talked about the whole match and what positive to take from it. Beautiful opening bang shot there by yours truly there. I didn't have much of a choice really. Based on where his ball is at the moment, it's almost a do or die for me right now, because if I miss a shot, and that one wiped it feet going into the pocket there, you can see a little bit of expression there on my face. Now I'm an experienced player, right? I am a self-coach. I coach myself all these years. I've had to watch thousands of YouTube videos to do the things that I do on the table. And as I said in the introduction of the video, one of my goals, if I don't get a chance to reach at the top echelon level, is to leave a lasting impact on the persons that are around me, especially the amateur players. And this particular rack, you can see a young man there at the back. We call him Biggs. That's his name. I don't really know his true name, his real name. But this is a nice shot here. Really, really nice shot. Off the rail, off the 8. Sorry, off the rail, off the 2. Open up the pocket. Sorry, off the rail. Here's a replay, guys. Let's have a look. Shot the 6 ball off the rail, off the 8. Cleared the pocket for the 6. That was the only problem ball that I had based on my position. And again, guys, I would love for you also to leave your comments and your thoughts as well. Based on what you thought both he and I could have done better. Love to hear your opinion on that as well. It's very important because being a coach, being your own coach, it's not easy. It's a mammoth task, and pool is more of a leisure than it is a profession for me, because I don't get a lot of chance to practice. What I rely on mostly, that was a really, really tricky shot there that went into the high side of the pocket. Let's have a look at the replay here. You can see I made a little bit of a mess of my position. Look how the ball threw into the right side of the pocket, because obviously I was trying to go around this object ball here. I was really trying to go around it, because that would have been easy transition, and I'm trying to pick the best pattern. Made a mess of that. So I'm just gonna have to just play the shot forward. The first rack is always the easiest rack, and I felt a little bit of early jitters, because obviously I'm giving this young man a 7-4 odds, and he can play. So it's a risk, but it's a risk worth taking. For me, it's important that I put myself under extreme duress to ensure that I stay focused. This is something that I've been doing for years, and it has proven quite futile, because I've been destroyed by other players. And remember, guys, he's not a top level player. He's an amateur level player, but he has very good understanding of the game, and he can run a rack. So even though a lot of you guys may not necessarily think that this is a good odds, it is a challenge. We can see Biggs at the back there. I had to zoom up on him. Biggs was like, how? Now look at his facial expression. He was like, how did you do that? That was a good one. He gave me a thumbs up, and I saw that, and that was good. Because you have a lot of players that, in my environment, there are a lot of players that are leisure players. You see them walking in the background, and they genuinely do not understand the complexity and the intricacy of the game. So when they see you do certain things, they're influenced. I want to be an impact to the persons that are in the environment. Pool is a stigmatized sport in my parish, in my country, in my area. Us playing pool right now in a bar setting is what they view pool as opposed to what they view pool as in America. Pool is not seen as that in Jamaica. It's seen as a sport that isn't supposed to be played by kids. It's in a bar. We don't want the kids in the bar. That kind of stuff there. We're going to talk more about that. It's a long match. We're going to talk about a lot of things during this match here. Again, second time seeing the break off there. Consistently, I find also that when I break, I tend to use a lot of top spin. And if you notice, I got a little bit of a pop. But because of the top spin, it trickles off into the side. This is something that consistently happens to me. And I kind of know what the problem is, but here's my problem. I do not take the time out, nor do I have the time to really work on fixing this. Because whenever I get to the bar or whenever I get to the pool hall, there's always somebody on the table. It's not at one point when I was much younger, when I had free time, I have a job, have a personal life. Pool is just a leisure. I get a couple hours to play, so I don't really get a lot of chance to really practice. And I do go to school as well, so I'm a university student as well, so I don't get a lot of chance to do a lot of things. But like I said, there's no reason for complaints. It's just a matter of me, just what I later on in the video, I'll show you where I realized that where I was going wrong. When you finally get a chance to see how Leron breaks, you'll realize, well, I realized a few things that I was definitely doing wrong in this match. But let's go ahead here and have a look. Leron has ball in hand to start this rack here, and he's obviously taking some time here, about 45 seconds or so, to analyze the rack here. He made a little bit of a tricky start here. He used a little bit of spin, and it was a little unfortunate. I think he was a little unfortunate here, kind of overruled on him a little bit, because it's really an open table if you take a look at it, picking the solids or the stripes. Obviously the solids are a little bit more tricky with the 6 ball, and I believe that's I'm not quite sure the color of the balls. It's too far. The camera quality is not 100, but there's a ball there in the center of the rack, in the rack area there, that's tied up, so I guess that's why he chose the stripes. But it was a little unfortunate in terms of wedging up on that 9, and so he didn't really have much of a choice. I don't think he tried to play. I think he tried to do a slight half masse, but it didn't work out. So let's see how the table is looking at the moment. See, you can see I have a ball there. I'm checking to see if the jump shot is an available option to start. Don't really like it. I don't think that's a wise choice at the moment to start. So I'm taking some time, and I'm a fast thinker, guys. I'm a fast thinker. I'm a mathematician by profession. My brain works very fast, and because it works so fast, I will make that other occasional mistake in terms of my decision. I'm not perfect, I know a lot about the game. I can apply a lot of skills about the game. For example, here I'm attempting to play a half ball, one reel safety, and this is something that there's a system for this, which I've already done the video, but I've not had the time really, guys, to settle. Let's have a look at the replay here. Playing this ball at a half ball hit here should get me up table, but what I did here, guys, was that I think I played the ball a bit too hard, because if you notice the line of the cue ball coming off the short rail, it was heading behind the 8. So had I just used maybe a hair more spin and a little bit more speed, I could have gotten the hook. Now remember, guys, that in 8 ball, predominantly what you'll find happening is less 9 ball skills being applied. I'm a 9 ball player. I love rotation pool, but my country is predominantly a 8 ball nation. So that's the sport, that's the discipline that they play most of all. That was a really good shot there by Leron. Excellent shot there by Leron, because he had that ball that was tied up on the rail. So he immediately attacked. The rack there. And this is where sometimes he does fall down. For example, here he missed that very easy shot. Again, you can see a little bit of emotion there, kind of disappointed. And it's expected. It's expected that when you miss an easy shot, especially when you know it's within your shot capability, you're expected to feel a little bit away here. Now on this freeze frame here, notice that I have a freeze frame. I have that 5 ball that's tied up with the 9 near to the bottom right corner pocket where I just placed my chalk. And this is one of the things about 8 ball. Once you have a problem on the table, you need to solve that problem as fast as you can. This is a beautiful shot there. Let's have a look at that. Lovely. Now, good execution, right? Good knowledge, good application of knowledge, but I played the shot a bit too hard. Again, remember guys, I'm under pressure, right? Whether you like it or not. Once you have to spot a relatively good player a certain amount of games, it affects how you play. If this was a normal race to 7, the outcome would have been a whole lot different. In terms of like, maybe it would have been a closer match. Maybe I would have, run racks on him or stuff like that. But the mere fact that every mistake that I make is an opportunity for him to win one rack closer to get into 4. He has to go to 4 and I have to go to 7. So good attempted breakout there. I kind of tied up the 5 ball, which I'm gonna have to work on that a little bit later here. Now I have a very awkward overcut combination here, and it's not really play, it's really a shot to nothing, because I really can't guarantee position on any other ball. I got position on the 5, but that was only because I got a carom off the 13 here. So tricky. And now look at that, I have the 2 ball that's tied up with his ball, which is also tied up with mine. So not an easy rack to really evaluate here. And here's a nice shot that I'm going to play, and I did put a replay on this because I know that there may be arguments that may be formed in the comment section or wherever you guys are watching this from, TikTok. As you can see there, I zoom it up here, and this is a shot that I learned from watching one of Tor Lori's video. Play position off the rail. Look at that. Lovely shot. Let's have a look at the replay. I know you guys are going to say that's a foul, but have a closer look before you quickly judge. Have a closer look, pay attention to the cue ball, and pay attention to my cue and my bridge hand. Half my say, I'm going to jump the cue ball into the object ball and have the spin plate off the rail to get it down table here. Have a look. Pretty close. Boom. Is that a foul? I don't think it was. And there was never an argument that was formed. Let's have another look at it, guys, in a faster motion. This was definitely not a foul. So for those of you who may think that's a foul, it is not. All right, it's a specialty shot that I learned from watching one of Tor Lori's 0x Billiards video. I bought the whole series, so that there was, a little impressive in my opinion. It's not a lot of persons know how to play a shot like that. And I'm playing on a bar table, so a lot of the things I can get away with because it's easy. But I've landed here in not the most ideal position, right? Again, I have this there are some shots in my repertoire of skills that I have worked on in the past, but I've not really practiced them consistently. For example, here I have this really thin cut. Notice that the arm, if you notice how I twist my arm, usually whenever I'm playing a difficult shot and my body twitches or my arm twitches, usually it's a sign of discomfort. It's a sign of early nerves, a little bit of a glitch there. And you can see that the video is vibrating, guys. There was so much loud music being played while we were playing, so I had to tune that out in order for you guys to really have some sort of enjoyment of this video. It was crazy noisy. The music was heavy. Like I tell you guys, playing in a bar is not easy. The sport is so stigmatized. I wish and I hope that one day someone will be able to see my videos, see my talent, see someone's talent, and really transcend the game, because it's such a beautiful game that I just don't, it breaks my heart to know that I've worked so hard to get my game to this level. But yet, there are competitions, really nice competitions in Jamaica, but pool has not been recognized as a sport in my country there. Now Leron made a positional error and was forced to make a difficult shot. Let's have a look at the replay here. And if you're watching this, Leron, you can see that you played that shot, 1, way too hard. 2, I think you rushed it as well, right? Your pre-shot routine was not. There was a couple of moments that I during the talking process, I forgot to highlight that you kind of rushed the pre-shot routine there, and it was a difficult shot to even get back. Right, I understand that, you have to understand that he was trying to get back position on the 13 that's here, but that wasn't the ideal way. And a lot of the times, what I find that not just myself, you'll see later on a similar shot to what Leron just did. I did the same thing as well. A lot of the times, but you'll realize that with the pros, they sometimes rather to take a harder shot than to try to play a specialty shot to get an easier one. Alright, so this is going to turn into a little bit of a safety battle here, right? And this is nice, because you can notice there that I've blocked the only available pocket for that 13, and he also has another ball that's hidden behind that 6. It looks like the 6 ball, but it looks like it's hidden behind a solid. So, this is another thing that I liked about his game as well, right? It's something that he has better than most players, the temperament around the table, and the ability for him to learn when to play defense. And many amateur level players, leisure players, when they're playing, their idea of playing pool is to try to pocket as much ball as they can, which is the worst possible way to play the game. Alright, again, a little bit of a containing defensive shot there. Right, can't really get him hooked behind any ball really, but I can, kind of force him, get Leron to go on the attack. And this is something that, he used to struggle with this, because if you were watching me play with another player, a player who was not on his skill level, because I think he's a improving B player, he's a B level player, right? But another player, right, a leisure player, if I were to record a match or a rack or a game or anything, they would perhaps go after this wild bang, try to make it and see what happens. They have this see what happens type of attitude there. Unlike Leron here, very disciplined, very composed, temperament around the table is very appealing, easy on the eye, and I like playing with players like this that will put my skills to the test. So really nice there. Now I think maybe I have a look at the 6. Now I'm looking because I can make the 6 in the side. The problem is the cue ball is moving away from the object ball that is very close to where you can see I'm pointing at it. I'm not sure if I can cut the 6 into the side and at the same time still be able to come back for position. So because position is not guaranteed, I'm gonna opt for a safety. Now let's be honest, well, not let's be honest, I'm gonna be honest here, guys. I was playing for the bank, right? At the same time, I knew there was the probability that I was gonna get hooked, right? I was prepared to play a jump shot, but I did call the bank, and that is to be honest. But it turned out to actually be a better shot in terms of the safety. I'm not sure why I didn't even think of the safety in the first place, but because I knew at the end of the day, in order for me to get the bank, I would have needed to stop the cue ball, and it would have been a risk. Now, if you look at that combination, he's gonna try to jump. I've already assessed that, and it looks like it's wired to the pocket, guys, but it's not wired. It's not wired to the pocket. It's wired away. So I'm not sure if Leron didn't really see that, and that jump cue that he has there also. I had a look at it yesterday, and yesterday meaning November the 3rd, the day prior to me doing the voiceover for this. I think he has a chip on his jump cue, so the jump cue is not effective. Now, before we talk about that, guys, I've done a freeze frame here, and this, I'm not sure what went on in my brain. This is a 3-ball run out. This should be very, very easy for me, right? But let me know, how would you clear this table? European solids. Look at what I did. I'm not sure. It's now I'm looking back at it, I'm really not sure. Because usually whenever there's a 3-ball on tape, it's pretty easy to pattern this type of game. Right? It's not a lot of balls. They're in close proximity and they're connected. But I'm not sure why I even thought about playing this ball into the corner. That was crazy. That was not the right pattern. But let me know, guys. I'd love to know your thoughts. If you got this far in the video, let me know what your thoughts is. What would you have done instead? I thought maybe that I'm not even sure what I should have done, guys, because I have to be focusing on the voiceover at the moment. But I made an error here, guys. Now it looks okay, right, to some of you, right? You may be like, okay, Apex, this is pretty easy, right? You're on the 6, you have a natural angle floating towards the 8. Here's the problem with this. I'm not a big fan of rolling the cue ball. When you roll, you get a skid, you get a kick, and the angle, if you notice, I know you're not seeing the true angle here, but it's actually going to be rolling towards the 8. So I decided to play a stun draw and didn't realize that the angle was a little steeper. So I would have needed to play a bit thicker into the pocket to hold it tight under the 8 here. And that's what kind of messed this up. Now, it's a relatively easy back cut. But again, guys, you're not seeing the true angle from where I'm at. It's going close to the side. And I don't want to overcut or undercut the ball. And then when you undercut or overcut the ball, you miss the shot, break up that cluster. So I'm thinking already 2 steps ahead. So I'm already thinking 2 steps ahead here, guys. I do apologize for that sound in the background. I'm thinking 2 steps ahead here. So I'm thinking that, hey, if I do miss this shot, I've got to leave Leron tough, because I already know that those 2 balls are tied up together. They're not wired combinations to any pocket. It looks like it's wired, and you'll see that Leron will go around and take a closer look to see if there's a gap between the 2 balls. And if there's a gap, it makes the shot a little bit more difficult, because there's going to be cut-induced throw and spin-induced throw taking place. Here he's going to have a look to see if there's any gap. Then he's going to calibrate. He's going to look to see, because at this choice, you can't really fault him. You can't really fault him for trying at the shot, right? Maybe some of you guys would be like, okay, maybe you could roll the cue ball up and try to wedge behind or something of that sort. It's a lot easier said than done when you're playing with an opponent that has fairly good skill set, as I do, fairly good, right? I'm a very humble person, especially when it comes to, I know how powerful players are, how good players are out there. So I'm nowhere close to a lot of you guys' skills. So I'm pretty humble when I'm talking here. So again, you can't really fault Leron for going at this. What would I have done? I probably would not have gone after the combination. I would have done something else, because clearly it's not a wired combo. And you'll see how, well, he didn't really he missed badly. He really did miss badly. And then again, went to tie up again. So, it was a difficult position for him. It wasn't an easy rack, right? It wasn't an easy rack. And it was all constructed, because in my mind, I'm saying to myself, I can't make that cut on the 8, and if I make it, great, I would have won the rack. But if I missed, I would have potentially break out the cluster, and I'll put myself under pressure here. And even on this 8, you notice that I'm still playing a 2-way shot. I'm pocketing the 8. Look at where I carry the cue ball, all the way down, because at the end of the day, you can play the shot, nerves, twist the arm, twist the head, the body twitches, something happens, and you miss the shot. You still gotta be mindful that you want to leave your opponent as tough as possible. So not the best 2 opening racks. That one did take a little while to finish. It is now 2-0. As you can see, I'm moving my coin to the second diamond on the first diamond on the long rail, second diamond away from the center of the short rail. So that marks 2 points, or 2 racks for me. So tricky rack. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, guys. I'd love to hear what you think about what I should have done. Did I do good? Did I do bad? Did I make good choices? Let me know. Again, look at that break shot. Not ideal. You will see here in this rack, or in this break, let's have a look at the replay there. I did amp down on the speed. I did get the pop, but notice that when I amp down on the speed, it leaves a little cluster in the rack area, which kinda starts off the whole rack in a defensive, so I was a little discombobulated in terms of I'm really not sure what to do, because what you can't do is that when you're playing with a much stronger player than Leron, or a player that has higher skill set than Leron, you will find that they will run some crazy racks on you. Like, I have this young man who, is a very, very solid player. Shane, you would have seen quite a few matches over the years on my channel with him. Shane is the type of player that will run a rack where, in my opinion, the rack wasn't runnable in the first place. And he'll do stuff like that, and it plays on your mind because your break is not working. Everything is not working in sync. And so when it's not working, you're depending on, the opportunities given to you by your opponent. And sometimes you don't really get an opportunity. Now, Leron did come out of the frame there, so I had to speed it up a little bit because it did take a while to really come back into the frame. And again, this is something that I admire about his game. The ability to really realize the importance that, hey, you can actually start a rack by playing safety. Now, he didn't play a really good safety, right? Well, at least I'm not sure, because I'm not sure if the ball that he just played is tied up with the 6. But I think he was trying to play a hook behind the 13 or behind that strike ball that is very close to where the cue ball is at the moment. But it didn't work out. But I still appreciate him trying. And this is very important as young players. Because I find, especially there's a young man in the background here in the white. We were having a conversation. And he said to me that he never knew the importance of playing defense. Like, he now understands. He's in the background having fun. We're playing a serious match here. But just using him as reference, he said to me that all he ever does is just whack at the ball. Or he just plays shots. That's just his way of playing the game. He just plays shots. And remember earlier when I said to you guys that I'm about to play a shot similar to what Leron played in Rack 2 where he missed that shot? There again, you can see. Usually whenever I play, look at the grimace on my face. Right? Look at the elbow drop. Twist of the arm. Head not steady. When you're playing jacked up shots like those, you've got to ensure that the pre-shot routine, you go through the pre-shot routine and you stroke it smoothly. You can see that I'm, twisting my arms there, very disappointing to know that I got that shot. And also another thing that I find that I do as well is that sometimes even when the rack isn't really runnable, I'm going to try to make it runnable by playing certain shots. Because I could have really turned the whole entire rack into a tactical gameplay. But I struggle also with patience. Really, really nice delivery of the shot. The cue there by Leron. Really nice. He just moves the cue ball so nicely around the table. That's one thing I like about, his improvement over the past year. This year has been a struggle for him. Right, he has gotten better. He's conquering more of his skill level players, players that are on his skill level. He's beating them more. He's using more knowledge. He's using more application, more patience. He's doing a lot more stuff that they aren't doing. And he's getting a lot more success. And I saw him yesterday and I had a conversation with him and I let him know that you're going to be you're going to be an exceptional player. Probably not now, but continue working on your game and you're going to be a player that, is worth watching in the future. So keep your eyes out for him, guys. We're going to play a couple more matches as well so you guys can see his improvement. But you can go ahead and type in Leron versus Apex Selenio. I gave him a 10-4 odds. This is how you know he has improved, because the first time I gave him a 10-4 odds and he defeated me 4-6. And now I've given him a 7-4 odds. Again, guys, do not let the score line, give you or make you feel as if he's a bad performer. He's absolutely not. He's really a improving player. And another thing that I like about him as a person and as a player is that he listens well. He listens and he applies well, right? And you see here another demonstration of his skill set. Look at this. This is a difficult rack. Right? He has the 15 balls that's tied up on the short rail. He has a breakout ball, obviously. And he has the 9 ball there, also nicely, right? And this is not an easy rack, right? Pro level player would probably run this out, but he's not a pro. He's an amateur level player. He's a player that has been playing serious pool for a little bit over 4, maybe 5 years, right? And We don't have any coaches here in Jamaica. We don't have a billiards academy. We only depend on YouTube and watching videos and watching matches. That's what we do, right? And it's a struggle because the sport has absolutely no recognition, and that's one of the things that breaks my heart as well. Now, he did make a little bit of a mistake there. Notice that he tried to leave a ball to break out the cluster, but he rolled up just enough to get a cut on that, and look how nicely he stroked that ball in and past the cluster comes up. Now, tricky part here coming up, tricky part here. He has the 8 ball, right? And it has a clear pocket. The problem is, can he hold position? You see, he's looking, he's walking around the table. He's looking to see where is the possible route. Now, I'm not sure why he went behind the ball, because based on where this cue ball landed, let's have a look. I'm not sure why he even looked to play the ball into the side, or maybe he was just checking to see if it was able to go into the side. So he gets a little bit annoyed. You'll see me walk around here because I'm a little bit in disbelief. I cannot believe that he was even able to get a look at that 8. You can see I'm really looking to see if there's an edge. And look at the shot here, guys. Beautiful cut. Watch his cue ball down into the drink. Now, pay attention. Look at his temperament. He's smiling. This is something that you never would have seen Leron do a few months ago. He would have been so mad, so angry. He has a really pleasant smile on his face. And, you know, he's shaking his head there. I think he's saying to himself that he's just a little unfortunate, you know. He's really unfortunate. He has been unfortunate thus far. He's made some really good attempts to run out some rocks. Rock 1, missed that easy 15 into the side. Rock 2, made a safety blunder. And, you know, I just capitalized. And rock 3 there, wow. I really appreciate his attitude. And what you've got to understand, guys, and I've spoken to the players around me, that this game is a game that is watched by millions of people. And I don't know when a video of mine like this will ever go viral. So I've spoken to him a lot that if you're going to come on the channel, if you're going to play matches, respect of the game, discipline of the game, you know, looking presentable on the table, easy on the eye is important. Because an audience doesn't want to see you snapping the chalk, taking the cue stick, hitting it on the table, taking the balls, slamming them on the felt of the table, denting up the table. Nobody wants to see that. It's not attractive. It's not looking good, and it's a gentleman's sport, you know, played by young people. So, you know, I was very pleased, you know, to see that, because I observe him a lot. Even when I'm playing and I'm under pressure, I observe him a lot here. Now it's 3-0. Very, very lucky to even be saying to myself that we are now leveled, because remember, the odds is 7-4 and now it's leveled at 4 apiece. Now you'll notice there that I changed the position of my break, and the side rail break isn't one of my favorite spots to break. I'm not sure it's because of the type of break cue that I have, because I have a break jump cue, so it tends to pop sometimes and then pops off the table. I don't really like that, so I tend to use more center table break. I'm thinking about getting a new break cue as well, guys. Now, nice break, nice open table, no problems to solve. This is when you know this game is more mental than it is physical. It's absolutely insane how I would, and usually, remember guys, on a good day, on a leisure day, just a normal day, right, I will literally run this rock out again and again and again. As to how I did not complete this rock, I have absolutely no idea. Occasionally, guys, and I'm sure this has happened to you, you have a Cosmo layout and you make a shot like this, missing the ball, exasperated, like I'm in disbelief. I'm not even sure if I twist my arm. I don't know what I was trying. I was trying to get on the 14 that's behind the 8, because that's, in my opinion, the most obvious problematic shot. So I was trying to get on it early, and I twist my arm, and it's crazy how an open table. Look at the table, guys. Really open. And none of us were able to really complete the rack. Now, you'll notice that Leron is moving a little faster. And, you know, him moving a little faster has nothing to do with his confidence level or, you know, pressure. I think it's just a case where he sees an opportunity, he smells blood, and he's going after it. And this is where composure is also very, very important, because here he's going to miss a shot that earlier in the previous rack you saw him make really nice. Remember that shot that he made? He cut that 12 to get position on the 9, to get position back on the 8 in the previous rack. Look at that. Easy open table. Now, in my opinion, I think the game is so mental, because when the rack is clustered, you're going to find many players at my level or even a little bit below my level trying to run the rack even when it's clustered. And when it's open, you're going to find that there is not a large percentage, but a percentage of some sort where the player might not even run the rack. Now, mind you, these don't happen every day. On an open table like this, on a regular day, we run these racks easily. So again, I'm on the hunt, getting back a chance to come back to the table after that horrific miss there. Now, I need to be very, very mindful now, because remember, I have to take the lead and I have to stay in the lead. Remember, I have to depend on Leron to make mistakes, because he's already at 3 and I just leveled at 3. So mentally, I'm more comfortable, because in my mind, this is a race to 4 now. It's no longer a 7-4, it's a race to 4. That's how I play with my mind. So I roll forward here, getting a nice angle, the intended angle. And here is where you're going to see something that I think this is a very bad habit that I've developed by playing a lot of what we call in Jamaica free pool. I am a big fan of moving the cue ball around the table, right? Now, here's a better option. I could have stunned this ball, right, and just come anywhere close to where I'm at the moment and take an easy pot on the 9. But look at what I did here. Horrible. Way too much spin, moving the cue ball way too much. And I know better, right? Mind you guys, I know better, because I do teach the game. I teach aspects of the game. And this is something that I would have advised anybody against. But you know, this is where, like I said, guys, the game is so mental, because I'm at 3, the score is leveled at 4, right? Because you got the odds. So I'm saying to myself, loosen up a bit, you know? Let your arms go a little bit, loosen up. And as soon as I chose to loosen up, that's what happened. Missed the shot. Slight positional error there. Look at the smirk on his face there. He makes a small little positional error on this ball, right? He was trying to draw back for the 6 to roll forward for the 5. Easy transition to the 8. Now he has to negotiate the pot here. So he's going to play safe. Again, really nice to control yourself. When you're playing, sometimes when I sit in the bar or in the pub and I'm seeing the amateur level players play, all they try to do is they try to just play shots. That's all they do. Play shots, play shots, play shots. And you can't fault them, because remember that the sport is not recognized. No one is here to teach the game. No one is here to say, hey guys, let's come together, let's do that. And you might say then, Apex, why don't you take a chance and do this? Well, guys, I've tried on multiple occasions, but they have refused to want to learn the game. No one comes forward, no one asks any questions. And when they do, no one really say, hey, let's take up the mantle and try to learn the game ourselves. Because I have to teach myself everything that I know by watching videos. So we live in the generation of players that are in my area. They don't watch videos, they don't buy books, they don't read materials. They just come, they bang, 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 pang, pang the balls every day. And that's just why the inconsistency and the lack of knowledge is so evident, right? And that's why I don't record most of my practice matches in the evenings, even though sometimes I'll play extremely well. I don't practice. I do not record these matches, because it sometimes looks very, very unappealing on the eye here. Now, missing that kick shot there. Really good safety there by Leron. Not sure why I didn't go for the jump, but here is where, again, look at this. Leron plays perfect position on the here on 8. And now, all he has to do is to stroke this with stun. He rolls, and look at that. Misses. Why did you think he missed? I think, in my opinion, he missed simply because the pre-shot routine. He has been consistent so far. He's under no pressure. No pressure, right? The score is leveled at 4 apiece. So you really got a chance to take the lead. You made a couple of mistakes. It's okay. Things are going to happen, right? Doesn't matter. You get a straight in shot. That shot did not require you to roll it. It simply required you to just stroke the ball with stun and finish the rack there, giving me yet again another chance to take the lead. Now, for every rack that I win, remember that the match started with him being at 3 and I'm at 0. I have to go to 7, he has to go to 4. So every rack that I win pretty much is a transfer of pressure onto him, because the more comfortable I get, and if I get into the lead, I'm going to start running racks, I'm going to start being more comfortable, and my true A game is going to start coming out. So mistake made there by Leron. Again, you'll see here, no reaction. He just comes to the table, racks up the ball, starts the next rack. Very disciplined, because you got to show the emotions, but you got to keep control of how much emotions you show, because there are players who feeds off your emotion when you're showing signs of frustration in your face, in your body language. They'll realize that that's an opportunity to really step in your neck, right? Step in your gut, really add on more pressure. And when you realize that you're making mistakes and your opponent isn't, it's going to cause serious mental breakdown during the game. So again, congratulations, Leron. The score is 4-0. Again, guys, do not let the score trick you into how this young man or his ability. This young man is a rock solid player, and he's going to have a good future in this game if he continues to do what he does best here. Again, using that sideways break, I'm not sure if you were able to see that the cue ball slightly hopped off the table and it hopped into the rack, because I'm not using a break cue, I'm using a break drum cue. So again, unsuccessful break. I'm depending heavily on clusters, I'm depending heavily on problems that Leron has to solve, and I'm also depending on his mistakes. And usually when you get to the top level, you're not really good. There are some really strong players here in Jamaica that, when I tell you, they don't really make a lot of mistakes. Trust me. And I'm going to try my very best, hopefully in the future, to really record some of these matches with these strong players. Hopefully you'll be able to see them at their best, and I don't really challenge them too much, because when I do, you don't really get a chance to see their true potential. But I'm going to a tournament this weekend, so hopefully I can record a few matches and you'll be able to see. Alright, so look out for that. Okay, again, nice opening shot there. So far I've not seen an opportunity where I need to play a safety to start. Leron has started 2 of his rack by trying to play defense, so you can see that's not really working out for him too well there. Again, I tried to play a little bit of a cheeky stun draw, hold position, and now I've created a problem for myself here. So the score is 4-0. Now I got a little frustrated here on this shot, and if you notice here, I was even trying to break out the 5 immediately, and there was really no path. So I kind of got a little frustrated. You're not seeing it in my body language or in my face, but you can see how poorly that shot was executed. That, literally, there was nothing there. Even if I had made the 6, how would I have gotten the 5? So very poor application of my knowledge here. That's one thing I also struggle with, guys. I'm so impatient. I feel like I depend a lot on my shooting ability. My pattern is not the greatest, right? My pattern play is a little bit above average, right? Nice shot there by Leron. Really, really nice breakout. Again, this young man is, I might be exaggerating on his ability, but I pay close attention to how if you know this young man and where he's coming from and how far he has gotten with his game, you will realize what I'm talking about. For him to even get to this level is, in 5 years, no coach, nothing. If this is the only comments that he gets in the future, you're going to be a rock solid player. And just remember that Apex Selenio told you this first, because I was at a point in my career as well where literally I was playing really good. I just didn't have any luck, nor did I have the experience to know what to do or what not to do here. Again, a little bit of a positional error here, falling short, right? Needed to come around a little bit more, or maybe he needs to go for the ball into the side. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's 2 balls on the tape that he has. It's a fairly good cut, so let's see. He cuts it in. Okay, so that was the only ball that he had. And again, really good attempted run out here. Rack 1, he could have gone up 1. This would have also been another rack where, missed the pre-shot routine. I'm sorry I didn't have a replay on that one. He twists his arm, twist his arm there a little bit, and that's what caused him to miss that easy 8. It wasn't a difficult putt. It was definitely within his skill set, but missing that. Now, as you can see there, I'm 4-0 up. Even though I'm leading, I'm still not feeling 100% comfortable, right? So I had to take off the hat, guys. Had to take off the hat because I need to start, really getting into that zone at the moment. All right, so I'm gonna play a cut shot here, coming one rail, coming off. Really nice here, coming up. Now, difficult putt coming up, and I kind of knew that this was gonna happen, but I didn't really have much of a choice because I have the ball that is on the opposite side rail. I have no angle to stun over, right? I'm already not feeling too comfortable because I haven't done a break and run. I haven't really run out a clear rack. Well, I ran out the first rack after his mistake, but that really has not conclusively put me in a comfortable position. So I tried to do a little bit of a spin shot here. All right, take my time, try to stroke this in, but the angle was so flat that it went in. Had it catch that short rail, I might have gotten position on the 9. So I've fallen short here, and now I'm left with a bank. Now in this match, right, I banked so well, right, and it's now while editing the video, I'm realizing how all my bank shots were very successful. Well, at least all the ones that I attempted to make. In rack 1, I started off the rack there, comfortable with a beautiful bank, and now another one here, bang, into the side. Lovely, lovely shot and holding position. Let's have a look at the replay here. Really nice. Let's see if there's any twist in the arm. No twist in the arm. Nice, strong, solid, calculation there. Pretty easy bank, right? Nothing too difficult. And holding position for either straight down into the top right or into the side here. So taking advantage of that mistake again. And like I said, guys, and what I've been seeing throughout the whole entire commentary is that because my break is failing me, right, I have to depend heavily on mistakes like what Leron just made there. And when you make a mistake like that in Leron's position, I'm already leading 4 and now leading by 5 racks to 0. You start to feel diminished. You're starting to think that the game is going against you. You're starting to think that you're unfortunate, and still I expect him to be starting to show some signs of discomfort. He showed none. He just racked up the game, and he's just ready to go again, right? Now I only have 2 games to win now. I'm a much stronger player than he is, so I have 2 games to win. It's almost like he's giving me odds at the moment. Again, failed break. You can see I'm so disappointed. I'm asking myself, what is going on? What is going on? I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. You know, well, in the moment, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but I kind of know now. Number one, I feel like there's about 3 things I'm doing wrong. One, I think I'm using more power than what's required. I'm also using a lot of top spin as well. You can see that the cue ball has fairly good control to some extent, right? It has fairly good control, but it has a lot of top spin, so it's not setting in the table. So I'm hitting the ball square, but I'm hitting the ball square, which is why I'm getting this kind of spread, but I'm also hitting it with tops, so the object balls are not going in the predicted direction, and that's kind of like what I thought, right? In my opinion, would have been a few reasons why I was getting such unsuccessful breaks. Again, Leron approaching the table with a fairly open table, I would say. Not much difficult pots here. Maybe some. What did he start off with? I think he starts off with was it the solid or was it the stripes that he started off with? I wasn't really paying attention, guys. Let's see what he's shooting next. Sorry, I apologize for that, guys. I'm a little bit sick today while I'm doing the commentary. So let's see here. Leron is going after the solids. Yeah, he's going after the solids, I think. Right, so he's going after the solids in the side. That one wiped its feet going into the pocket. So not too bad. Now, I think maybe he has a couple of problems on this side rail here. Right, top side, the side pocket to the closest to the camera here. Let's see what Leron's gonna do. Rolls forward, pots to one in. Alright, so this is not bad. This is not bad. I think this is the rock. You're gonna see something special from me here as well. I think you might see something special from me. Not sure. I think this is 5-0. Yeah, this is 5-0. This is a rock where I'm gonna bank 3 balls in a row to win the rock. So Leron here, right, this is a rock. I remember this rock now. So he was again, look at this, guys. He was again, this is at the 3rd or the 4th rock that this young man is attempting to run out and, you know, fall short here. Falls short. So this has been happening to him consistently, missing slightly easy pots, you know, under rolling, over rolling. So it really wasn't a bad match. I mean, yes, you know, he could have made the shot. It's expected for him to make it, you know. But again, like I said, guys, difficult. I think, I'm not sure if he has an extra ball on the table that he was trying to play position forward. 4 shorts on that ball here. Gonna roll that into the side, come back out to the middle of the table. And I'm usually pretty good at running out rocks like this, you know. I've had thousands of rocks, break and runs in my career, thousands. And I've had a couple thousands of this type of rock as well, you know, where your opponent misses, leaves you with a partial open table. Maybe a couple problems to solve, but nothing too difficult here. So I'm really assessing the table as I go along. I've heard lots of instructors say that you should plan a 8-ball rock from behind the 8, so you start from the 8 and pick your key ball. A lot of the time the key ball, you'll hear lots of YouTube videos say that the key ball is the ball that's closest to the 8. That's not necessarily true. Really nice shot there. Really nice shot to clear the pocket for that 15. So that kind of lets me feel a bit more comfortable in terms of attacking. So again, guys, you might hear a few videos say that the key ball is the ball that's closest to the 8. That's not necessarily the case. A lot of the times the key ball is a ball that's on the opposite side of the table, where the angle naturally floats the cue ball back into position. So again, like I said, guys, 8-ball is the type of game that really depends on skill, ability, and pattern play, right? Shane Van Boening has some of the best pattern play, right? I was watching a match against Shane Van Boening and Wu Kong Lin the other day, where Shane defeated the young man 8-5 or 8-4, and Shane pattern was so good that you just can never stop learning this game. You can never stop learning this game here, right? Because when you think you know patterns, then here comes another pro player that shows you something else about patterns. I was caught in a little bit of a web here, guys, right? I was caught in a little bit of web. I was on the rail. I couldn't really do much. I would have loved to really be out. Now, here is where I play a shot here. I come around 2 rails, right? Which is ideal way of playing position. Comes around a little bit heavy though, right? I maybe shouldn't have used draw. I maybe should have used center ball maybe, or not so much draw and lower the speed. So I kinda came around a little bit heavy and hot here, and now I'm in a difficult position because I wasn't quite sure how to get on the 8. To be honest with you guys, the natural angle is leading into the side rail, but that 5 ball is it's kind of saying to me that if you just roll it here naturally, you're gonna stop behind the 5 and you're gonna feel disappointed. So you can see I went down, got back up, went down, got back up, and I'm thinking what to do. Let me know your thoughts, guys, because I was thinking about drawing the cue ball around 2 cushions. So drawing it, hitting the short reel first, but then remember that 5 ball blocks the 8. The 8 ball only has 1 pocket. So I decided to use some inside spin here to check off 2 rails. I was very fortunate enough that it bumped behind the 5 and gave me a look at the 8 towards the side, which is a tricky part because that 6 ball that's right there on the side rail, close to the side pocket there, it really shadows the pocket a little bit, so it makes the pocket, the angle of the pocket, a little bit more acute. So I'm not sure, I'm sure why I missed the shot. I played it too hard, and in my mind I'm still saying to myself, just in case you miss, try to leave yourself some sort of safety, right? I was still thinking some sort of 2-way shot, and this is how Leron was able to win his first rack here to come onto the board. It would have been a 7-0 beaten. Well, I think I would hope that it would have been a 7-0, because obviously that was my aim. At all times I always have in the back of my mind that I want to defeat my opponent in this type of fashion, regardless of the skill level, right? There is a match that I played with a young man by the name of Jennar McKenzie, the one-eye killer. That's what I call him here. And there was a match where I defeated him 7-0. The break was working like magic. I think I need to really go back to watch that match to see what I was doing, right? That 7-0 trashing there was something to watch. If you guys would love to see that match, I will leave a link, or you can message me in the comments. I will leave you a link to that match. It was an exceptional, there was a moment there where we played 28 minutes or 24 minutes of safety. Now look at the difference between Leron's break and my break. And I was looking at the break here, right? I was looking at the break. Let's have a look at the replay here. He's breaking from the center of the table, slightly off. He hits the head ball, and he hits it with follow, or maybe he didn't hit it as square. And look at that spread. Look at that spread. If I can get consistent breaking like this, I feel like I have more of an advantage. Now, tricky rack here, right? Solids or stripes. I know you guys can't really see it clearly, right? But I think the stripes are the ones that are blocked by the solid to this bottom pocket, very close to the camera here. I think the solids block the stripes. So he decides to go for the solids naturally, because it's going to be very difficult to really get that 14 ball. So he's going to go for the solids. All right. So let's see what Leron does here. If he can get, I think this is a Cosmo layout if you think about it. It's a Cosmo layout. Wow. I don't see any problems here. What is the potential problem here? I know you guys can't see. what exactly the balls are. I'm gonna try to get better angles next time, guys. But he's not showing any signs of, you know, frustration or anything like that. He's getting down pretty quickly, knocking them in within a couple of seconds. Let's see here. Oh, he went for the bank. Wow. Also, he went for the bank because the angle wasn't able to get him back. Or is that the 8 ball that's blocking the 7? Oh, that's the 8 ball. Oh yes, I remember this rack. That's the 8 ball that's blocking the 7. So I think he tried to run the rack even with the problem of the 7 ball tied up. So that was not really a good decision there, right? Not sure why he took the solids, but I guess he took the solids because simply the 7 ball was being blocked by the 8. So here's where you're gonna see something a little special from me here, guys. A little special here, right? Now he did say to me after the match that he didn't think I was gonna run this rack. Look at the table, guys. I don't have any pockets. I have the 9 ball here. I have the 14 ball, but I have 2 strike balls that are on the side rail that's been blocked by the 8. It has no pockets. It's not like I have a ball that I could play tight position onto the 10 into the side. Even if I did get that, how would I have gotten the 10 here? So I'm starting here with a first bank shot, right? And you'll see a lot of you guys think that when I teach these mathematical calculations I don't use them. I do. I literally do. Here I'm aiming from 45 to 22. I'm a little bit outside the angle, so I'm gonna try to use stun follow here. Bang. Beautiful shot there. Beautiful shot. Not the best position. Let's have a look at the replay here. Is there any twist of the arms or the elbow or the head? Nothing. Pretty good. Pretty good so far. So stun follow there. And that system that I use there is the Dr. Dave 1 more than 3 times bank system. That's the most effective one in my opinion. I get a lot more success. Another example of Dr. Dave's 1 more than twice. I'm aiming through 50 and I'm aiming at 20, right? Because remember the 40-20 track line, I'm aiming through 50 and again I'm just using top spin. Beautiful bank shot there. Let's have a look at the replay here. Lovely. Is there any twist of the arms or the head? Let's see. No twist of the arms or head. Ooh, slight little twist of the arm there. And I'm using top spin. Now my table plays are here short. So unlike some tables where you have to play with draw, if I play with draw, then the ball is going to come up slightly short. And if I play with slow speed, it's going to go long. If I play with fast speed, it's going to come off a little weird. Now, tricky part here. Again, I don't have a pocket for the 10. So I have one of 2 choices. I can pop the 14 and then play for a bank or go for the bank. Now, the problem with this bank shot here, guys, is that if I try to bang it too hard or do anything out of the norm, I might move that 7 ball, which is my insurance to potentially get back to the table. So I'm going to bank this with a here of outside, here of right spin here, and come around a couple of cushions. This was intentional. Notice how I barely missed the 7. Beautiful, beautiful shot there. Let's have a look at the replay. Nicely done there. Now mind you guys, for all 3 banks, I called them obviously, but I was a little surprised that I was very successful in banking all 3 consecutively. You don't really find a lot of the times persons banking so much balls in a regular 8 ball match, right? In bank pool you're gonna have to do that, but in an 8 ball game you rarely ever find a player banking so many balls in one rack. So quite interesting here. Now the 8 ball again, for me, tricky position because I have 2 choices. I can pop the 14 into the corner, which is what exactly I'm gonna do. I was thinking, I think you might see I go around here to have a look. I'm gonna have a look here, and what I have a look at here, I'm looking at if I can go into the back of the 6, or can I actually cut this 14 and try to thin chip it and come 2 rails. If I can get top side where my hand is, then I have a look at the 8, but I've decided against it. I'm gonna just stun draw, bang, use that ball as a stopper to hold position for the 8, Really, really nice here. Really, really nice out. Let me know in the comments, guys. Did you like that attempted run out there? Not attempted. Did you like that run out? Let me know in the comments. Leave me a like. Alright, you can see a pat on the table there by Leron. Like I said, guys, he spoke to me after and he said that I cannot believe that you actually run this rock out. No, those 3 bank shots were insane. Consecutive bank shots and playing position on the 8, insane. So feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. The score is now 6-0, and with a shot like this or with shots like those, I'm booming with confidence. Remember, my break is not working, guys. It's not working. So let's see here. There you can see again, nothing. Cluster. Now fortunately I got a ball down, but that was only because I got a kick kiss. So you can see lots of top spin there, hitting the ball square. But I guess it's either I'm not using enough power or I'm using too much power and I'm not following through. I didn't mention that, guys. I'm not following through, right? So because I'm not following through, I'm not getting some of the power is lost from the cue ball into the rack. Now this is an insane attempted run out. Let's have a look, quickly assess. I have the 6 ball that's blocked by the stripe there. I have the 5 ball that's also tied up with the 11. It's the best option in my opinion. I don't really have any good opening shots, so I decided to take the solids simply because the 6 ball and the 5 ball acts as protection for those stripes. I know at the end of the day, if I made a positional error or I miss a shot or something, I still will have some sort of defense and give Leron some work. Now immediately I see an angle here and I attack immediately, and I got fortunate because had that 6 ball gone down, maybe it would have been a good idea for that 6 ball to fall, because as you will see later on in the rack, that 6 ball is exactly what would have caused the problem for me not to run this brilliant rack out. So good attempted breakout there, right? Well, not attempted, was successful in the breakout. So tricky pots coming up, guys. Everything is a bit difficult, right? Nothing is easy. Every shot gets a bit harder and harder as I go throughout this rack. And remember, at the end of the day, the 6 ball is hanging in the pocket. Leron can still squeeze the 11 and the 15 in if he needs to. And I have this 3 ball here that's tied. Bang! Beautiful shot there into the corner. So tricky pots here, right? Now I'm in some problems because the 5 ball only has the pocket to which you're looking at here, but how to get the cue ball over there from where I'm at and whatever balls I have left on the table, I'm not so sure how I'm gonna get over there. And that 6 ball is a pocket hanger, and we all know how difficult pocket hangers can be. Now I'm not sure, maybe I should have stun draw a bit more. I don't think I could have done much better than what I did there, because I have this ball here in the side that I need to get rid of. So this is not too bad. I don't think it's that much of an insane rack. You've seen Chris Mellin run out more difficult racks than this, so you know, let me know in the comments, do you think that this was a rack that I should have attempted to run? Would you have attempted it? How would you have done it differently? I got a little unfortunate here, guys. Pocketing that ball in the side, look at that, touching the 8. I needed to see that 6. Now I'm in problems. I'm in some problems here because from the very start of the rack, when I broke out the cluster, that 5 ball was a problem, and I've not seen, if you guys have seen something, I've not seen an opportunity where I could have gotten on that 5. I've not seen an opportunity that I could have gotten on that 5. So now I'm gonna have to do something a little special here, I must say. And it's not difficult. What the challenge with this shot here is not making the 6, but it's to make the 6 and to get some sort of relative position here on the 5. Because again, I have only 2 pockets for the 5. The one you're looking at right here, which is closest to the camera, this is the bottom right pocket here towards me. or we have that top right hand pocket up there where that young man in the brown just walked past the pocket there. So half masse here, and remember you can masse and it masses full and the both balls go into the pocket, so I'm depending heavily on a bit of luck here as well. Look at that, really nice. So I've gotten some sort of look, but if you notice that the angle, right, it's a difficult pot on the 5 here down into the top right pocket, and the cue ball is moving away from the 8. And at this stage here, remember, as much as how Leron may be struggling with completing his runs, right, I mean, he's at 1 rock. He only has 3. So if he wins this rock and break and runs the next one, then he's going to be on the hill. So it's not really a safe space for me right now, right? Because any card can play, anything can happen at this point in time. So I've still got to try my very best here to make the pot and to get some sort of look on the 8. Even if it's to make a bank or a thin cut or something. So in my mind here, right, and you'll see that I take a bit of time here to execute the shot. I was calibrating, really calibrating, because there's no defense here for me. Maybe I could have driven the cue ball into the 5 and draw back up to where I'm at. But then that 9 ball is hanging in the side. There's just so much problems here. So I'm going to try to go for the pot for the 5. I'm going to try to use the 15 here to hold position. So I'm going to, it's a thin back cut. And I catch the face of the 15 instead. Had I catch the back side of the 15, then I potentially would have had some sort of look. And then to make it even worse, the cue ball went behind a ball, and it also brought another ball to block the potential pocket that I had to pot the 8. So, you know, it was just one of those rocks that you just had to hope and pray that something works out. Now, the system that you're about to see me try to execute here, had I made the shot, guys, I think that would have been the most ideal way to end this match. The system that you see was actually a viral video that I have on my channel, the SID system. Now, notice here that I'm doing a calculation here. I'm trying the cue ball, or the object ball, pardon me, is in the pocket line of the diamond 4, right? Which is the first diamond closest to the corner. So I'm going to use a multiplication technique here and then a little bit of parallel shifting. So what I did here was that I just multiplied 4 by 4 and I got 16. That's what the first thing that you see me aim here, and then I'm going to parallel shift over. So I parallel shift now and I got it to about 418.4. Right? I know that sounds a bit confusing, but check out my video tutorial on the SID system. Once you type in SID system, I'm going to be the first video that you see come up on YouTube Home's page. Look at this, guys. Really good attempt. There's almost nothing that I could have done wrong, right, better here. Right amount of spin, well, almost the right amount of spin. If I had used a hair more spin, I would have missed. So I used the right amount of spin in my opinion. I hit the right diamond. Maybe I hit the diamond a bit thick. I'm not sure, but what a way it would have been to end this rock. And I'm a little bit exasperated, right? Tricky. Now, open table for Leron here. Again, 4th or 5th opportunity, right? This is all a result of, bear in mind, guys, if and when you see this young man in the future, I want you to remember when he was struggling to finish, because he won't be struggling for too long. I promise you. Yeah, I will have to help him in my free time to get him to learn how to finish the rock. Because a lot of the times, it's not that he's playing bad. He's really simply just sometimes, you know, kind of overpowering the shots or under-rolling the shots, that kind of stuff. After he plays the shots, look at what he's going to do. He stuns draw, right? He stun draw, right? Now, he could play the 10 straight up and come across table. He didn't really have a look at the 10. He just pots the 15 and look at what he did there. Pumps the ball, right? And still it is a good shot. But he's left a little awkward. And what awkwardness does, you can see on his face, you can see him talking to himself. What awkwardness does is it puts you in positions like this. Wow. Unacceptable. He missed the shot. Unacceptable. By his standard, that is unacceptable. Shouldn't have missed. And this is the first sign we are going to, because he has lost the match. You can see he took the coin, he threw it down to the other side of the table. He starts to throw the balls on the table, throws them on the table. He's getting really angry. Then he's gonna punch the table. Now look at this, frustrated. Yes, he's saying to himself that he knows better. But that's what happened, guys. But I hope you enjoyed the match, right? I wasn't able to record any further, so I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, guys. Hope you enjoyed the match, and just continue to practice and improve, and I'll see you next time. All right, take care.